My name is Robert Marshall, and this all happened in May 2024. I began experiencing intense breathing difficulties, a choking sensation, as if something was blocking my throat. Suddenly, a huge lump appeared on my neck, and the doctors feared it might be cancer. This mass was pressing so hard against my trachea that swallowing or even breathing became nearly impossible. Upon arriving at the hospital, things escalated quickly. They inserted a tube through my mouth into my throat, sedated me, and rushed me to intensive care. I spent several days breathing with the help of machines, while this mass in my neck kept growing, threatening my life. Time passed, and the situation only got worse. Then suddenly, this lump shifted and completely blocked my airways. It was as if someone had hit the pause button on my life. No air could get through. I simply suffocated until I died. My heart stopped. I had no pulse. I wasn't breathing. I lay there motionless, my face already turning blue with no signs of life. My wife entered the room, saw me like that, and desperately ran to call the doctors. She was screaming, "He's turning blue, please come quickly." Within seconds, the entire intensive care team rushed in, scrambling to bring me back to life. Chaos erupted. Doctors pressing the emergency button, machines beeping, everyone fighting to revive me. For 15 minutes, my body lay there without a single drop of oxygen reaching my brain or heart. But no one knew that while they were struggling to save me, I was already somewhere else. I didn't have a near-death experience. I truly died from asphyxiation. My brain had entered a state of complete death. At that point, there was no hope. No doctor thought I could come back. They performed an MRI, and the images showed there was no brain tissue left. Everything had been destroyed from lack of oxygen. Despite this, the machines kept my heart beating, but I remained dead. The doctors wanted to disconnect the machines, but a living will prevented them from doing so. It stated that they couldn't stop life support without my wife's consent, and she refused. She stayed by my side, crying and praying tirelessly. My body was motionless, connected to the machines, and this went on for 3 days. Every day the doctors came to speak with her, trying to convince her to allow the equipment to be turned off. They insisted there was no hope that I wouldn't recover, and that she needed to accept the situation and prepare for my funeral. But she remained steadfast, holding my hand, despite everyone saying it was the end. Meanwhile, in the hospital, I was experiencing a different reality. I spent 44 hours in heaven. There, Jesus walked with me hand in hand. He showed me the wonders of heaven, answered all my questions, explained the Bible, and revealed truths that no one had ever shared with me before. It was an extraordinary journey, full of revelations and answers. At one point, Jesus looked at me and said, "I'm going to send you back. When you return, there will be no doubt about this miracle. I want everyone to know that it is I who made it happen, because there will be no other explanation." He also promised that I would come back in perfect condition, with my memory intact, remembering everything he taught me in heaven, as well as all my memories from my life on earth. When Jesus sent me back, he clearly told me to share this miracle with anyone, anywhere, whenever I wanted. In fact, I wrote all of this down in my book titled 44 Hours in Heaven. I describe every detail, including the conversations I had with my father. And that's not all. While in heaven, as I stood near a fence, I saw 2 horses and 3 small dogs rushing toward me. They recognized me immediately and came joyfully, jumping with happiness. I knew them all. Yes, our pets are in heaven, and seeing that they were waiting for me, there was one of the most beautiful confirmations that love lasts forever. One of the most extraordinary experiences I had in heaven was realizing how different communication is there. When I reunited with my pets, there was no need for words. It was as if we simply understood each other just by looking into each other's eyes. I knew how they felt, and they knew everything happening in my mind. I felt that God had given us these animals as a precious gift, and that He never takes away what brings us joy. There, they continue to be part of our family, always waiting. God's love is like that. It preserves everything that makes us happy. Another thing I will never forget is the splendor of heaven. The moment I arrived, I was awestruck, unable to speak, just overwhelmed by wonder. Everything feels intensified. The trees seemed alive, bursting with colors, so tall and perfect that any tree in our world would seem insignificant by comparison. And the colors. There are shades in heaven beyond anything we can imagine. My eyes were dazzled by such beauty, while the delicate fragrance of flowers, plants, and trees created a sublime scent that words can hardly capture. In this realm, there is no day or night as we know it here. All the light comes from Jesus, and His presence illuminates everything. By the way, I documented all this in my book titled 44 Hours in Heaven, where I describe every detail, including my conversations with my Father. That's not all. In paradise, as I stood near a fence, I saw 2 horses and 3 small dogs rushing toward me. They recognized me instantly and came over joyfully, bouncing with excitement to see me. I knew them all. They are my faithful companions from life. Yes, our pets are in heaven, and realizing they were waiting for me, there was one of the most beautiful confirmations that love lasts forever. One of the most incredible experiences I had in the afterlife was discovering how unique communication is there. When I reunited with my pets, there was no need for words. It was as if we understood each other just by gazing at one another. I knew how they felt, and they were aware of everything I was experiencing. I felt that God had given us these animals as a gift, and He never takes away what brings us joy. Over there, they continue to belong to our family and are waiting for us. For that is the love of God. It preserves all that is good for us. Another thing that deeply moved me was the splendor of heaven. As soon as I arrived, I was struck silent, simply in awe. Everything seemed so much more alive. The trees looked animated, bursting with colors, so majestic and perfect that they made any tree on our planet seem like a mere twig. The hues were so varied that there are colors here we can't even imagine. With my eyes wide open from all the beauty, I was enveloped by the delicate fragrance of flowers, plants, and trees, producing a sublime scent that's hard to express. In heaven, there is neither sun nor night like on earth. All the light comes from Jesus. His presence illuminates everything, and this light is not just physical. It carries the purest and most powerful love you can imagine. When you enter heaven, it's like receiving the warmest and softest embrace of your life. Over there, there is no sickness, no sorrow, nor any form of suffering. Everyone is restored, whole, and in perfect health. Whatever your past experiences on earth, over there, you are the perfect embodiment of what God has always imagined for you. The connection among everyone in heaven is truly incredible. The love of Jesus envelops everything and everyone, and just a glance into His eyes makes you feel the very presence of love. When I approached Him, I was overwhelmed with emotion to the point where I knelt down, tears in my eyes, filled with respect and gratitude. He leaned down to me, took my hand, helped me get back up, and assured me that all would be well, that there was so much to say and learn together. We walked for hours discussing everything, and He made me understand that I had a mission to share with the world what I had seen and experienced. When I left heaven, I felt completely transformed. I've come to realize that there is a place filled with peace, love, and indescribable beauty, and that everything here is part of a bigger plan. If you're listening to my story today, know that there is hope, healing, and a love powerful enough to transform any life. God is real and wants the very best for each of you. And if you've made it this far by listening to my story, I sincerely thank you. What I experienced has completely changed my perspective on life, and today I know nothing happens by chance. The lesson I want to share with you is this: never lose hope, no matter how tough your journey might be. There is an immeasurable love that can heal, transform, and restore any situation. God watches over every part of your life, even when everything seems impossible, and you are never alone. Believe it, everything has meaning, and you are deeply loved. If this message has touched your heart, subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring stories that will help you see life in a new light. Share this video with those who need hope and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Doing so will help spread this message of love and faith to even more people. Thank you so much for being here. Until the next video,